All right, here's listing edit screen. In this file, we have to apply a number of changes. First, our validation schema. In this object, we add a new property, images. This field is an array, so here we call yup.array. Now, I'm not going to call the required method because this property is never going to be null. We're going to initialize this to an empty array. So we just want to make sure that there is at least one object in this array. So here we call min and pass 1. Now we could call the label method to give this field a custom name, like images with a capital I. And with this, our error message would look like this. Images field is required. Now this error message doesn't quite work in the context of this form. It would be better to tell the user, hey, please select at least one image. So we don't really need the label method here. Instead, we're going to supply a second argument to the min method. This is the error that will be displayed if this rule is violated. So here we can say, please select at least one image. So here's our validation schema. Next, we have our categories. This code shouldn't really be here. It's polluting this file, but don't worry about it for now. We're going to get these categories from the server in the future. So let's move on to the next step. Here's our component. In this component, we have this form. Now look at the initial values object. In this object, we're going to add a new property, images. We set this to an empty array. This is the reason I told you that we don't need the required method because this property is never going to be null. Okay. Now, here's our title field. Right above this, I'm going to add a form image picker. Now, every field in this form should have the name prop. So we set the name to images. Now, to test this, we go to app.js. I'm going to remove all the code we have written. We don't need any of this stuff. We just need to return a listing edit screen. Now let's test our app. So if we submit the form, we get this message. Please select at least one image. Now let's select an image. The error is gone. What if I remove this image? The error is back. Beautiful.